Hello and good morning and or good day to you wherever you are at. I'm going to share a map and we're going to discuss some of where some of these Israeli strikes have been hitting. But what I'm going to do is find where I left off in my last live stream last night so I can kind of start from there. So while I wait for people to get notified, please hold. Because it's been a busy morning so far, too. Hello, Gary. Good morning. All right. I'm just scrolling down here to see where I left off. And for those of you who don't know, I'm referencing my feed on X because that's where I have directed people to. It's where I'm just reposting stuff. It's so much easier to do over there, but I will come live and periodically show stuff over here also, or talk about stuff over here also. I think I found a good spot here. Hi, Kendall. Hi, Laura C. All right. So some of this might be repetitive. I'm trying not to be repetitive, but there's a part one that went through like from the beginning, the first command, the home command issuing like a lockdown on Israel up to what was going on at the time of that video. And yeah, the home front command had issued instructions to Israel to shelter in place due to ongoing military action. So let me see if I can paste the link to my X account is in one of the posts from yesterday. So I'll just grab it from there real quick. Please hold. Please hold. Okay. Here it is. Here it is. Oh, thanks, Alicia. I actually just grabbed it, but thank you. Good morning. Hello, by the way. Okay, so like I have not even gotten coffee. I have not even gotten anything. I literally just got up and came right in here to talk some more about some stuff. Okay, so what I have up here on my screen is a map. Can you guys see it? Can you guys see it? Before I start talking about something that may not show on my screen. I think it probably does show since you guys didn't tell me I have a black screen. Okay, thank you. So this is a map. This is just one that I pulled up from like World Facts, like dictionary, encyclopedia type thing. So what I did identify on here is that it's got some sites that have been you're having cantaloupe. I just want coffee. That's all I want. So I'm going to get coffee when I'm done here. Okay, so we were talking yesterday about Tabriz. That was mentioned. Kermanshah, I don't know how to say these things. Whatever. Tehran, obviously, that was where the strikes began, and that was to start targeting specific IRGC leadership. Isfahan was mentioned, and Avaz was mentioned, and Shiraz too. You know, the funny thing about that is, and I don't, I'm not really familiar with all this region and stuff, but somebody had posted, maybe they can get back to making Shiraz. Maybe they can get back to making red wine after this. I was like, I've heard of Shiraz before. Apparently it comes from there. So it's interesting. The regional stuff and maybe, I mean, there's not hope, but you hope that maybe they can get back to doing something productive. So anyway, continuing on, I think I have located where I left off last night. So it was with, and Natanz is not on here. So maybe what I'll do is try to find another map, which has, let's see. This was being shared by the BBC. But it doesn't have all of the other spots that they were targeting. So let's see. And I don't want to go back and forth. Sorry, I'm going to find a better map, but I just have to try to find something that has everything on there, which is going to be impossible. Okay, so Tehran is here. And what the maps show, if you were to pull up the key nuclear sites, is that just east of Tehran is Parchin, and then just south of Tehran is Fordo and Natanz, and then Isfahan is actually on this map here. So there's Isfahan, here's Tehran. So this over here, if you can see my cursor, would be Parchin, and then over here by Qom would be Fordo and Natanz, somewhere around there. So it's all kind of lumped together. But it's the area east of the Zagros Mountains. That's one of the things that I kind of want to draw attention to is the Zagros Mountains, as you can see on here, kind of separate the pieces of Iran's nuclear program that are enrichment and heavy water and where they have their centrifuges. There is Bushehr, which is a nuclear, it's a nuclear generation, nuclear power plant. That's not what they use for nuclear enrichment. The enrichment sites are in the center of the country, east of the Zagros Mountains and by Tehran. So those are the ones that are going to be underground and stuff like that. This is the reason why when you start trying to introduce like the prophecy against Elam and stuff like that, those areas are not where ancient Elam was. And so this is where it's like, if you're talking about two separate things, you have to separate what's going on right now from the prophecy. They are not the same. I realize there are going to be a lot of people who disagree with that. Great. You are entitled to whatever opinion you want to have. But simply because Iran's nuclear program is being struck, and it was associated to this prophecy against Elam, does not actually mean it's associated to the prophecy against Elam. It is not. They are two entirely separate things. So there is not a prophetic fulfillment occurring right now. I don't actually know what you're talking about, dude. So yes, I'm going to ignore whatever that is. Okay, so third round of strikes. Third round of strikes has begun against Iran. This is like they're in their 6th or 7th wave right now. So this was a while ago. But there were multiple explosions reported at Iranian nuclear facilities. This was about 12 hours ago. So I'm just starting from where I left off in the previous video, bringing you up to current speed. And there were reports that Iranian fighter jets had been taking off. I think this is where I actually left off. Explosions were heard in Avaz and Khorramabad. So I'm not sure where Khorramabad is, but Avaz is actually on this map to kind of give you an idea of where that was. And it says they're both nuclear facility areas. Now, what I will say about that is that neither one of those is actually on a key nuclear sites map. So I do not actually know what relationship those have to the Iranian nuclear program. You guys can maybe check that out, but I have not seen, maybe I'll come across something else. I've been posting stuff without reading like it in depth. Natanz was on fire. That's one of the things is this morning, Natanz, which is one, it's their, actually Fordo is their primary place, but Natanz is, and I'm actually going to tab instead. So, let me know if you guys can see that. But hello and good morning to everyone. Healing says no one can tell you any different. Okay, then believe what you will. I mean, okay. What people choose to believe is not up to me. It's not my problem. I mean, like literally, you can believe whatever you want about whatever you want. And I will believe whatever I want about whatever I want. That's kind of how that goes. Okay, so you can see, I'll actually make that bigger. Make that bigger. Okay, so there we go. This is going to deal more specifically with the posts that I'm going to be making, or excuse me, the things I'm going to be relaying from what I reposted. So you can see how east of Tehran is Parchin, Fordo, and Natanz. And then Iraq is a heavy water facility. Isfahan, Fordo, and Natanz were the three major nuclear enrichment sites. Natanz is destroyed. It's destroyed. Fordo is the one which is going to be most central to their nuclear enrichment program, and that's the one that's more buried under a mountain. Bushehr is simply a nuclear generation power plant. It's what they generate electricity from. So that is not tied to enrichment or centrifuges or anything like that. So you're talking about the middle of the country. That's specifically what they're targeting right now. And again, they started in Tehran with the leadership and then moved to the nuclear sites and missile defenses and airports and things like that. And then there was a report that Israeli airstrikes targeted a town of Qasr-e-Shirin, Western Iran. Oh, ballistic missile site. I did read that from last night also. So I don't know if you guys can see that or not. You can't really see that. Footage of secondary explosions. When they destroy the munitions depots or the missile sites, there's secondary explosions, and it looks like fireworks is going off. I think I showed that last night also, or talked about that. Israel struck at least 6 military bases near Tehran, including Parchin, along with 2 secure command compounds, several residential buildings, which were targeted unalivings of the key leadership. The former head of the Atomic Energy Organization of Iran was one of those people. And we talked about Major General Salami last night. I won't go into more detail about him. The Tabriz nuclear facility was just targeted. And going back to where I had that on the previous map, Tabriz would be in the area up here. If you can see my cursor here, it would be in this upper region, this upper western region of Iran right here. So that's closest to Syria. I think this is Syria up here. And they're definitely using Syrian airspace to conduct these, by the way. And then somebody commented that Witkoff might show up to nuclear talks on Sunday and find himself alone. Well, if he did show up, he would find himself alone because Iran formally withdrew from nuclear discussions with the United States today. So there will not be any more of those, which I'm sure comes as no surprise to anyone. Okay, so I'm definitely getting to the spots where I just reposted this morning. So far, they have attacked Tabriz, which I just showed you in the upper western part of Iran. Kermanshah, which They were talking about that and Avaz. So this is actually, if you can see that map right there, Tehran, Natanz, Isfahan, Arak, and Kermanshah. What they said, and this was reported yesterday that there had been strikes at Fordo. It was reported, I saw this morning, that there actually have not been any strikes on Fordo, or none that have caused any damage. So it's possible that they did something there. Maybe it had to do with leadership, but the actual nuclear site at Fordo has not been struck and has not been damaged. So that was what I heard this morning. It was reported that Iran will be hitting U.S. bases in response. It says Iran could launch about 300 to 400 missiles accompanied with drones. Well, that's down from the first estimate of 600. So now they're saying 300 to 400, and then they're saying U.S. bases in response. I would be shocked if that actually occurs. I know that they're promising to do something to respond to Israel. But I would be surprised at this point if they actually do try to target U.S. bases. U.S. military has been helpful in downing the unmanned aerial vehicles, the UAVs or the drones. So Saudi Arabia has actually assisted with that also. I'm not sure to what extent, but there has been foreign participation in assisting Israel in downing the drones before they get to Israel. He is probably talking about what I said about Elam, because there's people who are not going to convince that this isn't that. So that's fine. Like I said, people can believe whatever they would like, and I will believe whatever I would like. It's kind of how that goes, you know. There was a report of the downing of 8 Iranian fighter jets in air-to-air combat with Israeli fighter jets. Yeah, that wasn't going to be a winnable thing for Iran. Just saying. And Natanz, like I said, that's been hit repeatedly to the point where it is destroyed. Whether Iran would admit that, but the IAEA, who keeps tabs on it, has said it's... Now, actually, what's interesting is there's more that's come to light in some of these. Like in the first wave, there was an air, missiles and targeted strikes, but there was also drones. Though Mossad conducted a covert operation inside Iran, they actually had set up in Iran a drone base, their own little drone base, and that was set off to target at the same time as the other events were kicked off. So the Mossad is actually operating from within the geographical region of Iran to use drones to assist in this. And it's actually been being set up for quite a while. So that's kind of how that worked. And there was video of the Mossad inside Iran setting off their drones and stuff like that. Iranian Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei is reportedly alive and well and being briefed on last night attacks by Israel. It was about 10 hours ago. And one of the armed forces spokespeople warned that Israel and the United States will receive a forceful slap, adding that Iran's military is fully prepared and will launch powerful counterstrikes soon. We shall see what those might be if and when they occur. It was Avaz. When you go back to the previous map, let me know if you guys can. I know, a forceful slap. Let me know if you guys can see that or have issues with seeing that. But back to the original map where it shows Avaz, it's the Israeli Air Force was currently striking the Revolutionary Guard sites there. So that wasn't nuclear related. That was IRGC sites there. And then a fourth wave of airstrikes hit missile and drone production facilities in Tabriz and Kermanshah. So thank you, Matt, for letting me know. I appreciate that. So Tabriz and Kermanshah are here on the left side of the map. So those are missile and drone production facilities, not nuclear, but missile and drone production. So there are reports of explosions at Bushehr. I don't know specifically what. Oh, okay, never mind. I'm actually going to delete what I reposted there because, and this is the tough part, is people are sharing things that aren't related to this. There was an explosion at Bushehr the other day. There were actually 2 simultaneous explosions at Bushehr and some other place, another port, but it was probably related to the same thing that occurred before when Bandar Abbas, which you can see down here at the bottom of the screen, Bandar Abbas is one of their ports, and a bunch of missile fuel blew up because it got hot and was sitting in the sun. So that's one of the things, is like these random explosions at ports are not related to this. It's related to the heat and the sensitivity of the things that they're having shipped there, and the fuel and the munitions and things like that exploding. So I unposted that. That stinks. I hate reposting stuff that's not legit. Because you try to trust people, whatever. Major General Mohammad Bagheri, Chief of Staff of Iran's armed forces, has been made to be no longer with us at this point. Iran's main refinery was attacked. That is in, I don't know where that is. Maybe I will come across something that tells me where that was. And yes, Natanz, their nuclear facility, has been completely destroyed. So back to that so we can see that. Hello, everyone. Good morning. Just trying to catch everybody up to speed from where I left off last night, because a lot is still happening. Another report of a missile depot being struck in Kermanshah, which I had on the map just a second ago. And I'll try to find a different map that has everything on it. Good luck, though, to me for that, but I will try. There's an international airport at Tabriz also, which is another reason why that was being struck, which again was on the previous map. It is stated that while Hezbollah pledges solidarity with Iran, they are not going to initiate attacks against Israel. Probably a smart choice for Hezbollah at this point. They are capable of making good decisions, it seems, at least once in their life. All 100 drones that were launched at Israel from Iran were intercepted. So nothing has reached Israel to this point, unless it has reached Israel in the time that I have started this video. So another post says that Israel was attacking the city of Shiraz, which again, we'll go back to this tab instead. Shiraz, right here in the southwestern-ish part of Iran, where many of Iran's offensive UAVs, unmanned aerial vehicles, drones are manufactured, including those which were launched against Israel a short while ago, all of which were shot down or crashed before they reached Israeli territory. So that was why Shiraz was attacked, because that's where the drones came from. And clearly that's not going to be allowed. There was footage that was posted by the Mossad showing its actions against Iranian air defenses and ballistic missile launchers this morning. And it says, according to an Israeli official, the Mossad built a secret explosive drone base in Iran for this morning's operation. The drones were used to strike ballistic missile launchers at a base near Tehran, preventing Iran from firing projectiles at Israel. So this was definitely something that they were planning in advance, well in advance. And I actually saw something that Netanyahu gave the command to start preparation for this in November as soon as Trump was elected, which doesn't shock me. Let's be honest. It just doesn't. IRGC Air Force Brigadier General was made to be not with us overnight. He was one of, he was one of the senior commanders, probably. Yes. According to the military, the top brass of the IRGC Air Force was killed alongside him as they met in an underground command center to prepare to attack Israel. And this was one of the things that Israel said is a lot of the reason that they decided to do things in the way that they did was because they knew it would draw all of the leadership together in one spot where then they could just act upon the information and take them all out at once, which is what they did. Over 20 senior commanders are believed to have been unalived by this morning's strike in an underground command bunker beneath the headquarters of the IRGC Aerospace Forces. It was a true statement. They are no longer with us. Iranian President Pezeshkian warned that our powerful response will make the enemy regret its reckless move. We shall see. We shall see. The International Atomic Energy Agency reports that the Fordo fuel enrichment plant, believed to be Iran's primary facility for the enrichment of weapons-grade uranium, was not targeted during last night or this morning's waves of strikes by Iran against Iran by Israel. It says, if Israel wishes to put an end to the Iranian nuclear program, the destruction of Fordo is a must, though it will be difficult without assistance from the U.S. due to its location, which is built into a mountain over 80 to 90 meters underground near Qom. So it's right here. Here's Qom, however you say that, Qom. And yes, Fordo is right by there. So that was the thing, is there was something yesterday that mentioned Fordo, but apparently it has not been targeted as of yet. I think that is, then yes, there's the thing an hour ago that I reposted that Iran has fully withdrawn from further nuclear talks with the U.S. No shock there. There was a report that another wave of drones was reportedly launched from Iran in the past few minutes. This was reported about an hour ago, between an hour and 2 hours ago. It will take them hours to get here. Yesterday, there was a post that said that the time to target for drones was about 9 hours. So it says most, if not all, will be shot down before arriving. There were more explosions in Tabriz, and the military airport in Isfahan is next. So Isfahan is actually one of the key nuclear sites. I think it's a research facility. They apparently also have a military airport there as well. So that seems to be in the crosshairs. There's also a report, but it's from the person who I just unreposted something from. Attacks have now begun in the area of the nuclear site in Bushehr, Iran. I'm not sure the truth of that. Bushehr is their nuclear power plant. It's not an enrichment site, but we shall see. And then that is all I have shared. We'll see if there's anything else since I went live to share. I'm actually going to unfollow that person because this is not the first time. Let's see. Oh, Rising Lion. There was something that said Strength of a Lion or something like that at the very beginning of the operation. Rising Lion is the name of the operation. So I don't know where Strength of a Lion or whatever that was that I read from came from, but whatever. So now they're intermixing things about Lebanon and things about Gaza in here. Okay, so it says that there have been several launches from Lebanon against northern Israel near Kiryat Shimona. So apparently Hezbollah is still firing rockets, which big shocker there. There are Israeli airstrikes at Karamabad, which that was on... Where is that? I'm looking at other maps to see if I can find it. I'm not sure where exactly that is, but probably in western Iran somewhere. And then there was another airstrike reported at the support base of the IRGC's Aerospace Force near Tabriz, and it set their arsenal liquid and solid propelled ballistic missiles on fire. So again, that's up here in the northwestern part of Iran. So that is... The Iron Dome intercepted 2 Iranian drones after red alerts activated in northern Israel. So I would seriously doubt anything is going to be getting through in the near future. All right, I think that is it for now. Ongoing, it's going to continue to be ongoing for days, if not weeks. We will continue to see, continue to post, continue to repost. Follow me on X if you are not, because I'm just reposting stuff there. And Megan, you said Rising Lion is a mockery of the Iranian flag. Oh, maybe. I'm not sure. So let me go through comments, see what is... I'm going to pin that message. If you guys can see that pinned to the top, that is my X page, my X account to follow. Alicia, you said Iranian threats of retaliation is laughable at this point. They won't have anything to retaliate with. That's why Israel's keeping going. Yep. Jesse, you said my mind is reeling, trying to anticipate when the Lord will step in. He won't. That's not the time for the Lord to intervene. This is not that. This is not that. The Lord does not step in until Ezekiel 38 and 39. This is not that. As much as I'm telling people it's not the Elam thing from Jeremiah 49, which is sandwiched unabashedly in between Damascus and Babylon, which are both linked to the seventh vial in Revelation 16, which I've talked about so many times. This is also not Ezekiel 38 and 39. This is not the point where the Lord is going to step in and intervene. This is a setup on the way to that. Which isn't specifically in Bible prophecy, but it's moving the world geopolitically into a place where Ezekiel 38 and 39 can be fulfilled. So this is not something where we should be waiting for the Lord to step in, because he's not going to for this at this moment. That's something else. I don't know if I'm an awesome reporter or not. I'm just trying to follow everything. It's interesting to me. It's very interesting to me. I try not to take a position necessarily on a lot of it, but a lot of it's just interesting. It's, we live in a very interesting time, very fascinating time in world history. we are very fortunate to be alive for such a time as this. And so it's very, very interesting, fascinating. Brooke, hi. I'm here for you, Brooke, because you said you don't have social media. So I was like, okay, I got to come here live for Brooke. And I'm not joking about that. So hello and good morning. Hope I'm not keeping you from work. Be valiant for him. Hello and welcome. I'm not sure if I've seen your name before. You said Hezbollah was instructed by Lebanon government that they would not be allowed to participate. I'd be shocked if they actually listened to the Lebanese government. But hey, stranger things have happened, right? Yeah, it's interesting, Megan, and thank you for sharing that rising lion is a mockery of the Iranian flag. I have not heard anything about why it is named that, so that's interesting. Mr. HVAC guy, you're funny. You're funny. Welcome to you. Says, can you start over? I missed the beginning. Sure, let me do that right now. That's so funny. Oh, that is funny. I like the humor. You guys are funny. You're fun. You're a fun group. Luanda, you said it was hard to sleep last night. Did you get any sleep? I did. Myself could not stay awake. My cat wakes me up very early every morning because I give her wet food every morning, and her internal alarm clock is different than mine. So sometimes at like 5 something in the morning, she'll wake me up and decide it's time to eat. Other times she'll let me sleep until like 7 or 8. Although it's getting earlier because it gets light out earlier. So usually when the sun starts to hit the sky, I'll have a little hairy beast walk into my room meowing until I pay attention to her, and then forcing me into a place where I must get up. Otherwise I will have no rest, no peace. Yes. So I was up earlier this morning dealing with a cat. Yeah. And she's got a bowl of dry food sitting right there, but that is not what she wants. So we have trained the human to get up to meet the needs of the cat. And then she'll be the quietest, sweetest little thing after she gets her wet food. So yes, it's fine. I don't mind. Yeah, I'm going to look up the Iranian flag right now. Oh, yeah. The flag of Imperial Iran, which includes a lion and a sun symbol, was a tricolor of green, white, and red. The lion, a sun emblem in the middle. Got it. So it's not of the, okay, so it's the monarchy, like the true leadership of Iran, not the current leadership of Iran, but the true leadership, the Shah. Yeah, interesting. Thanks for sharing that. I appreciate it. I am the cat's employee. Yes. That's funny. Okay, well, that is all I have. I'll keep you guys updated. But again, if you have not followed me over on X, Twitter, whatever, if you want to follow me there, I included the link, and it's pinned to the top here because I'm just reposting stuff there, trying to follow people who don't share stuff that's not true, or yeah, because there's a lot going on right now. But you guys have a good day. I will keep you all updated. But yeah, everybody have a good day. Appreciate you all. Happy Friday, and or whatever day it is, wherever you are at. I will see you all later. Take care.